Welcome back, everyone, to Your Greatness with Dawn Mathis. I am your host, Dawn Mathis. And today, we're going to do some trash talking. Actually, we're going to talk about garbology. Recycle, repurpose, reduce, refuse stuff, garbage, trash. We're going to talk about a lot of different things and our habits and our responsibilities as well in this much needed topic today. So Kay Gillespie is our guest, Dr. Kay Gillespie. She's a PhD, a professor emerita, Colorado State University, where she taught and conducted research as a faculty member in the Department of Foreign Languages and Literatures. She also worked in the field of faculty development and served as president and subsequently executive director of the Professional and Organizational Network in Higher Education. For 25 years, she edited the Journal of Innovative Higher Education. And in recent years, she has pursued involvement in the Front Range Forum, which is an adult learning community. And she has facilitated classes on several different topics, including this one, garbology, which she has offered 3 times. In addition to that, and I guess in her spare time, if she really has any, she's involved in social justice activities. Her home is right here in our beautiful state of Colorado. So Kay, welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
So we're talking about repurposing with garbology. Well, to me, it seems like you have repurposed your intellect and your very illustrious career in education into many beautiful ways. And one of those is to increase awareness around this issue of waste. So first of all, what prompted you to take on this subject of garbology?
I am delighted to tell you. Let me give a couple of definitions first. Garbology is a word that is probably unfamiliar to many people. And what it is the study of a culture through its garbage. And we're just going to use the words garbage and trash interchangeable. And what they mean is all the stuff that we get rid of in one way or another. I would say, first, I am not a garbologist. I am not a professional garbology scholar. What I am, and this is the reason for my concern, is a very concerned citizen, a citizen of the United States, I hope also a global citizen, and I am a grandmother. I think grandmothers and grandfathers are very important. I think this issue is very important, not just for me. I mean, I'm not going to be around forever. It's important for my children, for my grandchildren, and my grandchildren's children and other future generations. That's why I'm here with you today. That's why I am a concerned individual.
Great. Well, I was going to ask you what garbology is, but I think you defined it very well. Kay, what do you see with the work you've done with this topic and in your facilitation? What do you see as our most pressing concerns?
Well, the bottom line, I offer 4 R words: recycle, repurpose, reduce, and refuse. The overall concern for that would be refuse, the degree of consumption that we in the United States have, that we perhaps as individuals have. And just to offer a statistic, the United States has 4% of the world's population. And one estimate is that we generate 12% of the trash.
Goodness.
So that is the overwhelming concern, is refuse. But under that, we've got others. What do we do with our trash? What do we do with our stuff? And there are issues. There are issues.
So I've heard it said, and I don't know where it came from, Kay, but there was a slogan at one time: "Throw things away, ? There is no away."
Yes, that's actually a bumper sticker that goes back to the 60s. And it was at that time in reference to, I believe, nuclear waste. We don't think that much anymore about nuclear waste. There used to be a lot more evident controversy about nuclear waste, but there is no away. And once we've used something up, we can't get any more of it.
So that being said, what would you say are the most pressing concerns, other than what I'm hearing you say right now is the amount of stuff we consume? We just want more and more and more, and then it has to go somewhere else.
Right.
Are there other pressing concerns that you would like us to be aware of?
Yes, I would offer several, and I would invite whoever may be listening to this to perhaps pause for a moment and think about, what are your concerns? Why are you choosing to either listen to this podcast or to watch it on YouTube? What are your concerns? I would say the first concern that I have is to encourage people to recognize we have a problem. We have a problem in our cities, in our states, in our country, and around the world. That, I would say, is the very first one. We have a problem getting good information. I would mention this book, and I'm holding it up for the YouTube segment, on garbology, which is written by Edward Humes, who is a Pulitzer Prize winner. And it's a wonderful book that I recommend. This book was published in 2012. And I've talked with the author. He is planning a new edition. So there is some outdated information in that, but it does a wonderful job of laying out the complexity of information and issues. So that's an issue. Relationship to other issues. There's a very significant and definite relationship between our trash and climate change. There is a geopolitical issue, relationships with other countries, developed countries, developing countries. There are costs and affordability issues involved. So it's a whole complex of issues that I hope people are interested in thinking about.
So what are some of the ways that the U.S. is handling some of the waste challenges that we as a country see as being pressing? What are we doing?
I'd like to provide a few statistics. And the statistics are a morass. You can drown yourself in statistics. It's been said that a statistician is an individual who drowns in a river with an average depth of 3 feet. But the statistics with all of this are so complex. There are so many entities involved, government entities, private entities at various levels: city, county, state, nation, EPA, countries. So getting a handle on the statistics is really quite overwhelming. I've already, and different dates, different times that statistics are gathered. Some of the statistics, the most recent that one can find, go back to 2018. Well, that's already 4 years ago. So let's just think for a moment. I'll mention a few statistics. I already talked about the high level of trash that we generate in this country. And we are considered one of the 5 trashiest countries in the world. 2018, that's the latest data I found a statistic for. We in the US, we threw out 292 million tons of waste. Now, multiply 292 million times 2,000, and you get the number of pounds of waste that we in the US got rid of in one way or another. The average American, this is an EPA statistic, generates 4.5 pounds of trash per day. 1.5 pounds recycling. What hasn't been clear in anything I've read is whether or not that 1.5 pounds recycling is added to the 4.5 or part of it. So that is unclear. It's estimated that we waste about 40% of our food in the United States in food waste. That's just food waste. E-waste is a big category. The estimate, and I have to wonder who's sitting there counting all of this and how do they count it? That's the estimate is that 416,000 cell phones are thrown away each year in the United States. Now, whoever's listening or watching this, you probably, undoubtedly have a cell phone. There are valuable minerals in those cell phones. And those valuable minerals cannot be replaced. We're talking a great deal about plastics right now. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Americans purchase about 50 billion water bottles per year, plastic water bottles. Mm-hmm. If I go to the grocery store and I see someone come out with one of those big packages of water bottles, I almost have to contain myself to say, why are you buying those? You can have a water bottle, you can fill it up. If you have good water, I mean, sometimes there is a reason you need a plastic bottle of water, but in most instances, we could do with our own water bottle. 80% of the cost of those plastic water bottles goes into making the bottle. Recycling of clothing, there are issues of that. But there's lots of creativity, and I'll come to that point at the end. There is a lot of creativity regards recycling. So I think the statistics can invite us to recognize the problem that we have. And I would encourage reading articles, reading the book on garbology to find out about those statistics.
Okay, so those statistics make us more aware of just how pressing the concerns of consumption and consumerism and all that is.
Yes.
Kay, can you speak, though, to any of the ways the U.S. is handling the waste challenges just across the board? What do you see nationally that we're doing to try to offset some of the waste?
Okay, again, keep in mind there are so many entities involved in this. What are we doing nationally? Nationally, I don't think we're doing much at all.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Can anybody think of a national law related to trash and garbage?
Yeah.
No, It's at a different level.
Sure.
There are three things we can do with our trash. We can get it to four. We could throw it out on the road, right? And some people do that, unfortunately. But we can put it in a landfill. We can put it in our weekly trash pickup. We can incinerate it, and we can recycle it.
Okay.
Those are the three things.
Okay. Well, all right. So what I'm hearing you say is that as a nation, we're kind of behind the eight ball with addressing some of these pressing issues. Can you speak to what maybe some innovations from other countries that you've heard about that they've implemented that maybe we can learn from?
We have a great deal to learn from other countries. We like to think of the United States as number one. We like to hold up our finger and say we're number one. Well, we're not really number one. Germany is the leader in the percentage of trash that is recycled. Bangladesh, interestingly, the very poor country of Bangladesh was the first country to introduce in 2008 a national ban on plastic bags.
Wow.
when I say, you ask, what are we doing nationally? And I say, nothing that I know of. Yeah. Canada has just recently announced that they will introduce the ban on the manufacture or importation of single-use plastic goods. That includes plastic bags. We all get those at the grocery stores and stores. That includes straws. Right. And they're going to introduce that at the end of the year. The day that we're recording this is June 30th. Tomorrow is July 1st. There will go into effect in the country of India, and we all know what the population, how big the population is in India. They will introduce a total national ban on plastic bags across the country of India. And they have the estimate in the city of New Delhi. They have an estimated 150,000 people making their living from the dumps in New Delhi, one of which receives 10,000 pounds of trash per day. 150,000 people are losing their jobs in one city in India due to this national ban. There is a lot going on in other countries. But we're doing a lot in this country too. And there is a lot going on that's positive.
Okay, well, that was my next question. I have two more for you. The first one is give us some hope. Tell us that there's hope.
I'm loaded with hope, Dawn. I'm absolutely loaded with hope.
Great.
And the main point of my spending my time talking with you today, engaging in talking with others, is hope. We can do something. Remember, I am a grandmother. I'm loaded with hope. And this is a provocation to action, individual action. I can't impact the war in the Ukraine. I can't impact directly Supreme Court decisions, but I can act in this way. I can modify my own behaviors. And I'd like to quote someone whom I think we all can respect, Mother Teresa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she says so many things, has said so many things. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with love. So I'm going to give some very specific examples of what we can do.
That was my next question. What can we do?
Some of us buy our coffee in bulk, and they have generally paper bags when you get your coffee in bulk, right? And you either grind it or you bring it home and grind it at home. I buy my coffee that way, and I probably use 6 bags of coffee a month. Paper bags. I've been using the same paper bags for 2.5 years. Now multiply that, one person in one grocery store, take it across the country, and think of the production of paper bags that would not occur if more people did this. If one listener does that, that cuts down on the production. Another kind, we do live in Colorado, right? And here's a very creative recycling suggestion that if you live in Georgia, you couldn't do, but it's an idea of the creativity of the human spirit. I've seen fences made out of old skis. Now, imagine that in your mind. It's pretty cute. Now, if you live in a homeowners association, they're probably not going to go for it, though, right? We have a plastic ban in our town where I live that started just a couple of months ago. It's a town of about 150,000 people. And now plastic bags are not even available in the big grocery stores, the usual grocery stores. You take your own bags. This leads to a lot of creativity in what people drag into the grocery store with them, or what they walk out of the grocery store stuffed into their purse or under their arms. But it's working. Okay, again, multiply that. One town The big grocery stores, no more plastic bags. And we're all aware of the kind of problems we have due to plastic going into our trash. Composting food waste. People who have yards and garden can engage in composting, but there are services that will pick up the compost from your house. There's an issue, and it's one of the ones I mentioned. Costs in our town, that service costs $15 a month. That's great if you've got an extra $15. If you don't, you cannot participate in this effort to cut back. So I would hope that listeners or those who may be watching are thinking, what could I do? What haven't I done yet? Are there little things that I can do? And I think there are. And we can also respect the efforts of those who are being creative. And, maybe they're building fences out of old skis. Maybe they're starting a new industry, a small scale, a startup. We can respect and encourage those efforts in a line with hope. We can change this. We can take action. And I would mention a book. It's not related directly to garbology. It doesn't deal with trash. It's a new book that came out in 2021 by Jane Goodall. And I think we all know that name. She's been so important in bringing recognition in new ways to our natural world. She's 94 years old when in 2021, and she still has hope. And she gives us 4 reasons for hope. And I think we can apply this to the issue of our trash, our garbage, our stuff. And those 4 reasons are the indomitable human spirit, the power of the human intellect, the resilience of nature, and the power of young people. And let's think of those grandchildren, future generations, our nieces, our nephews, the children they may have, and let's have hope and let's take action, for action makes hope reality.
Mm. Wow.
So
that's wonderful. What is that book, Kay, that Jane Goodall wrote?
It's called, the title is The Book of Hope.
Oh,
yes.
Well, I can even remember that.
Yeah, The Book of Hope.
The Book of Hope.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yes, it's a wonderful book. It's a very inspiring book. But above all, I think let's consider our consumption. Let's consider our trash. Let's take action on behalf of ourselves and on behalf of those who come after us.
I love it. I love it. So the next time I'm walking over to my trash can, I'm going to think about what I'm doing and how I might do something differently, whether in that moment or to keep from putting something in the trash the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wonderful. So Kay, if people wanted to reach out to you, is it all right if we have give them your email address and have that posted in our show notes?
Surely.
Okay.
Yes.
So Kay's email, for those of you not driving, if you're driving, pull over or watch this later, listen to it later. It's Kay, G as in good, I. So KG, the numeral 2 at AOL.com. KG2 at AOL.com. And the book that she referred to that's very soon to be in its next edition We hope.
Right.
We hope. We're going to cross our fingers.
Yeah.
It's Garbology, Our Dirty Love Affair with Trash by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Edward Hume, Hume, I believe.
Yes.
Hume. And we will have all that for you.
Humes, Humes.
Okay, Humes. We will have all of that for all of you in the show notes so that you can you can learn more about this or reach out to Kay. Kay, are you going to be having another class on this where you're facilitating in the near future?
I don't have one planned right
Not
now.
yet. Okay.
I'm moving on to a new topic, peace.
Peace. Well, I think it's related.
Yeah.
It all is. Okay. Well, Kay, I want to thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much for your expertise and for your intellect and your hope and your call to action, all of which are important, and most of all, your passion for this topic. So thank you very, very much. So I hope all of you enjoyed our trash talking, and if you're driving, please be safe. And we have a long weekend ahead of us, the 4th of July weekend. Just want to wish everybody a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Please stay safe, take care of each other, take care of yourselves. This is Dawn Mathis, and this is To Your Greatness. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.